Okay, hello. I'm going to review Cloud Atlas, this sci-fi movie that I was excited to see, but I'd give it a 1 out of 10. I thought it was terrible. Let's see. Basically, the idea is there's like 6 different timelines with all the different things going on, and other than that, I don't really get what the movie was about. It's been a month or two since I saw it. I don't remember much. I know that there's a lot of celebrities, like a lot of people in it. Tom Hanks, Hugh Grant, Hugo Weaving, Halle Berry. I forget the rest. And they play a lot of roles, but it doesn't seem to have any meaning. It really annoyed me. It's one of the most self-indulgent movies I think I've ever seen. It's directed by Tom Tykwer and I guess the Wachowski sisters. I didn't realize the Wachowski brothers who made The Matrix later, both of them became, I guess, trans women, or I don't know all the terms, but they've become women, I guess. It's kind of weird. I didn't realize that, but okay. So a big problem I have with the movie is that it doesn't seem to have. It's like there was no sense that they had to connect the stories for us. There's a few parallels that are mildly interesting. Like there'll be a part where this black guy is getting chased on a boat, and I guess he's a slave or something, and he's kind of moving around. And then there's a part set in the future, and it's just got some visual similarities, but other than that, it's like, what is the meaning? And having the same actors in different eras, it just seems like a gimmick. That's it. There's no depth. There's no meaning to it. I don't think the stories really have any meaningful connection. There is this thing called the Cloud Atlas, or maybe a piece of music or something, but I don't, or a diary that someone's keeping. I don't know. I didn't really get it. And yeah, there were parts where they were kind of funny. Tom Hanks has some funny parts where he does accents. I think he's a good actor, but it didn't have a lot of depth to it. And seeing Hugo Weaving as a woman was kind of mildly interesting, but again, there doesn't seem to be any meaning. There's no real connection between these characters. It was very weird seeing one guy in particular had kind of weird eyes, and I thought, why? He looks really weird. That doesn't look natural. And then I realized, I'm pretty sure they were trying to make him look Asian. It looks terrible. It looks so awful because there's this Asian woman. Yeah, she looks fine, but then his eyes, like they've taped it down or something. It really just looks like they just taped it down to try to make him look Asian, which just seems like, why not just cast an Asian actor? Why not just have a good story? You know, you don't have to just do that. Like, I hated it. So I don't know what other people think, but it looked really lazy, like really stupid. And also they have that Asian lady at some point. They try to make her look, I guess, Western. She has like green eyes and like freckles, and it just looks weird. She looks alien. And it kind of draws your attention to people do look different. Like, I think the world you can kind of divide up into like there's Asians, Africans, Europe, Native Indians, and maybe Aboriginals in Australia. A few other groups. I don't know if South Americans might be a bit different, but these are groups that really were, I think, separate for like thousands of years and look different. Skin color, eyes, height, other body dimensions. There's all these differences. And those are the ones we can see. There's probably other internal differences that are harder to measure. Of course, it's controversial if you suggest anything along the lines of, like, for example, brains being different, but it's quite possible. But I'd lean towards most of it is superficial, and nevertheless, we're all the same species. But it is striking because, when they had that Asian lady trying to dress, it just looked so weird. But that's why I'm like, is their idea to show that everyone's the same or that everything's connected? But it's so vague. There's no depth to it. They really could have gone further with this idea. Like, instead of it being all haphazard or all over the place, which is what it felt like, it could have had a bit more consistency. Like, always have Hugo Weaving as this corrupt person that's controlling things. Always have Hugh Grant as some opportunistic person that's in between. Always have Tom Hanks as the person who's trying to do good, and Halle Berry is this other independent woman that's trying to do good, and have that dynamic exist in many different places and times, and show the different dynamics and how maybe sometimes good wins, sometimes bad wins, and there's interesting parallels. That sometimes there's ambiguities of who's good or bad. Like, that could be interesting. And then that way you're almost just using the actors as a convenience. You're not saying they're actually genetically related. but you're just saying that there are these parallels, these repetitions throughout history. The landscape changes, the technology changes, but the human emotions and interactions stay the same. But no, they didn't do that. It's just chaos. It's just all over the place. Another thing I didn't like is in the future, Halle Berry and Tom Hanks have this really stupid accent. I hate it. And it feels so fake. Like, it's not natural. They're just kind of putting it on. And I also don't like that people treat certain accents as if they're just normal. Like, if you speak in lower class English, you know what I mean? Like, Cockney or whatever. Or man, yo, if you're speaking black, you're saying, yeah, yo, this and that. Know what I'm saying, man? She be working, yo, every day though. And like, the grammar's not right. That's the thing. You find people that, look, Australia, England, America, Canada, South Africa, they all, New Zealand, right? They all speak English, they all have accents. But if you get someone of reasonable intelligence or maybe middle class, upper class, they speak properly, and you'll find the grammar is the same. The grammar's the exact same, I'm pretty sure. You just find different words. But when you look at the lower class or certain lower class groups in these areas, you get all kinds of like, these people can't speak English, and I guarantee their vocabulary will be more limited, and they don't read as many books. So I hate this idea that just any way of speaking English is fine. Like, no, it's not. Some people can't speak English, and it's a bad sign, and it connects with other things. Like, if you had two people, like let's say two black people, for example, and one of them says, "Hey, how are you going? Yeah, I'm actually really hoping to get this job and move ahead and blah blah blah," right? And the other black guy says, "Man, yeah, I'm really hoping to get this job. No saying, man, I think it's gonna help me a lot with all the stuff going on with my life." If you had to guess, which one, like, maybe is earning more at the moment. If one of them was employed and one was unemployed, if you had to guess, there are all these other patterns. If one of them has read 20 books this year and the other's only read one, which one would you guess? There are these patterns that it's like, anyway. So I don't like this idea that speaking English incorrectly, like with bad grammar and with like weird things, especially because it's ambiguous. Like you say, man, I didn't do nothing wrong. That doesn't make sense. You mean you didn't do anything wrong. This happens a lot. The one that really annoys me is when people say, I could care less. You mean I don't... You mean I couldn't care less. I always have said I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less about that. That's how little I care about it. I couldn't care less if I wanted to. But some people say I could care less. And it's not, I don't think they know what they're saying. I think it's just, and that's the thing. I think a lot of these mistakes in language come from people not understanding language. And therefore, it's a symptom of the fact that they don't understand language. I think most of these people also, they made these mistakes when they were young. And that's the thing. I mean, I was brought up at primary school. I noticed there were other kids not speaking properly, and it would drive me nuts. Like 33, they'd say 333. It limits your capacity to express yourself. Another one that's really common even at higher levels is, let's say, I don't know the best example, but let's say a lot of people disagree with me. And then I said, all of you are not wrong, but blah, 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 blah. People will often say that kind of thing. All of you are not. It's the all not combination. But what they really mean is not all of you are wrong, right? Like, there's a subtle difference, but it's very important. Like, a better example might be like, say, I don't know if it's that good an example. Someone says, oh, truck drivers are all jerks, say. And you said, all truck drivers are not jerks. And it's like, no, that's not what you mean. You mean not all truck drivers are jerks. The not and the all, it's the place where they come in is very important. And that's the thing. If people, once you lose that and you lose precision, and then you get ambiguity, and some people be like, it doesn't matter as long as you get what I'm saying. Well, that's the thing. In some cases, I won't get what you're saying, and it means there's extra work, and it means that if you do mean all truck drivers are not jerks, because that's a different statement, then you're saying none of them are jerks, which is probably not true for any group, right? Yeah, anyway. So it's a pet peeve of mine, this idea that a weird way of speaking can be like, like proper language is never like that. It never has that looseness, I find. So yeah, I would say that some of the storylines are all right. Like they're kind of interesting at times. There's some nice dramatic moments. You can relate to it, but it was the self-indulgence that got to me. That just where is this leading, and just the arbitrary cutting between things. It's relatively easy to follow bit by bit, and there are tense moments, but I just felt like, where is this going? What is the point? It felt like the biggest waste of time. I was so annoyed. I'm annoyed that I bought it. I feel like I just want to sell it. I forget what the other things were, but there were things that just bugged me. Like, it was just trying to have some kind of message, and I was like, I don't know, I don't buy into it. I think also just because it didn't make sense. Like, Hugo Weaving was also kind of like this weird green leprechaun guy. I don't know leprechaun, but he was big, but like a spirit. I don't know if he's meant to be Irish or something. I don't know much about mythology. Yeah, and the stuff with Halle Berry and Tom Hanks was in the future. Like, I didn't really get what was going on, and that's the thing. You want to feel connected to the characters. There's no point having this movie with. Actually, I think the music was alright, but yeah, if you can't connect to it, if I don't get what's going on, what the point is, it doesn't build any momentum, and it just goes around the place. Anyway, I hated it. By the end, I really hated it. So I don't recommend it. But if you want to torture yourself, Cloud Atlas. Okay, totally check it out if that's what you're into. Okay, bye.